I am P. I'm P the Emcee right now. Currently P the Emcee. P MC spelled correctly, EMCEE. But I'm also like in the midst of just going PMC TV or PMC music, just because I feel like P the MC has been a hard thing for people to find for some reason. I don't know why. I feel people have come up to me and said, shout out to Deja, the homegirl says, P the Emcee, and people naturally just put in the letters MC, and I fully spell it out. So I think I miss more fans than I really have just based off of me, how I correctly spell my name. So I'm just debating on going PMC TV or PMC music, just so when someone looks up PMC, it pops up to me, because I feel that that's what's happening. Yeah. Even shout out to people who sent the wrong email. I get that a lot. Like, I emailed you, and I'm like, what email did you send it to? P the MC, and like, that's not me, bro. So, where I'm from, I'm from Dayton, Ohio. Born, I can't necessarily say I'm raised, because I matured by way of Chicago, I believe. I went to high school in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I made my way. I'm a Midwest guy, man. I made my way back down to Ohio as an adult, and still kind of formulated back to both careers in music formulated out of Ohio. So I'm a Dayton, Ohio native. Yeah, but I'm a Midwest. I'm completely Midwest. Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Chicago, Kentucky. Like, I'm very well versed in everything on that side of the country. So shout out to the Midwest. And what do? I create feels. A lot of people, I do want to bring the term rapper back. I do feel the term rapper has been shot down. So I do want to say I'm a rapper. I'm an MC first. I'm a master of all these ceremonies. I control when I'm on a microphone. I respect people who have control of that mic. But I do want to somehow like when I was little, like the spirit of rapper, I feel like has been changed. And now it feels bad to say I'm a rapper, because it's like the lowest form of life right now. You know what I'm saying? But I want to help bring it back, so that when kids get older or whoever gets to the next, they can say, I want to be a rapper, because I feel like that's what happened to us. Like, when we got to look up to some rappers, they were very powerful, and shout out to all the old school rappers, man, that led us to believe, that made us to want to be rappers. You know what I'm saying? Because now we know that was smoke and mirrors too. But in return of it, I do want to bring the prestige of the name and the term back. I don't want it to be as low as it is right now. I feel like, yeah. So I want to say I create feels. I'm not necessarily only a rapper. I croon a lot now. I don't say I'm a singer, because I'm not as great at running, but I definitely hold a tone, and I make feels. I create feels, whether it's in story form, whether it's in rap form, whether it's in writing R&B and soul, whether it's in writing screenplays, started in poetry. I create feels. I feel like that's what's missing from not necessarily entertainment, but yeah, like that's what I do. I feel like you should walk away feeling something. And when I was little, that's what I wanted to be. That's what made me want to be a rapper. Is my favorite rappers made me feel as if I understood them or where they were coming from. So I'm a rapper. I smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser, raising hell with the flavor. Terrorizing fans like troops in Pakistan, swinging through your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man. And instantly I was like, yep, I want to do that. Like, and weirdly enough, like, I was always a fan of all music. Like, I am a 80s baby. MTV led me. I remember, my parents are both musical people. Both my mother and my father are both musical people. They both sing exceptionally well. They both, in a sense, could have had their careers in music. I think my mother never wanted one. My father kind of, whichever. But lots of music in my background. Listened to it all. Loved rap the whole time through, but wasn't caring to be a rapper my brother, my older stepbrother was rapping. Shout out to Black Ohio Coalition. They was Black Cordoba Posse when they was in high school, but they became Ohio Coalition. But even when I was like messing with his notebook and stuff like that, I still never wanted to like. I'm like, oh look, my brother writes raps. I never wanted to rap, and then Snoop happened, things happen. I'm like watching it, but even when those things are happening, even when I'm listening to, everyone else, it's nothing made me to say, oh man, I want to do that. And then we were up one night watching late night BET, and then they come on with this. I'm just like, what's going on? Like on that time, it was late night BET before most of these kids would even understand. Even before the uncut crowd. This is before all that. This is when Calling Mr. Vane would come on. I know what I want, and all that stuff would be late night. They wouldn't show like even the freestyle videos. They would only show that late night BET, and then in the middle of Calling Mr. Vane and Cotton Eye Joe, they played Protect Your Neck, and I remember thinking like, yo, this is the greatest. I've never felt this way. I went to school. Shout out Kaiser Middle School in Dayton. I went to school the next day like, yo, Wu-Tang, this is the future wave here, y'all. And everybody looked like I'm crazy. I'm like, no, listen, bro, this is what it's gonna be. And I was trying to remember their raps. Like I didn't, mind you, this is then we couldn't just pull up music instantly. So here I am in class trying to remember these raps that I heard one time, like fragmenting them together. And I'm like, man, I gotta write my own. So I'm trying to like do my best. I guess Jizza impressing, man. Weirdly enough, before this last year, I never really gave it credit. Yo, Jizza apparently made me a rapper, man. So when I bump into the Jizza, even though at that time, and even now, I don't think he's necessarily my favorite Wu member. He should be. When I met them face to face, he was the one that was the coolest with me. He was the one, like real life. Like I should really rearrange my personal feelings towards Jizza. But I was a kid, and you're so impressed by styles and looks, and I think everyone thought Method looked so cool at the time, and RZA was so like, you know what RZA does it to me still. I watch this TV show and this uterus thing, like I'm like, yo, man, RZA still to this day blows my mind first. Like he's deeper than the average rapper.
The way he talks, the way he
his whole disposition, and that's the thing I liked about Wu-Tang. That made me kind of, I guess, want to be a rapper. I've naturally had a disposition growing up through life. I had a name that people made fun of, different things. Like, I loved cowboy boots. I always liked my own thing. Like, whatever I like what I like. I don't like what you like. And it's kind of giving me a weird disposition. That was the first time that I've seen, like, dispositions look cool. Like, people who didn't fit, like, the cookie mold. As much as I love Snoop was as cool as you thought West Coast niggas look, man. Like, nothing looked different. Ice-T was as cool as you thought West Coast niggas looked. SIBO. I remember all these things. It's the NWA. Like when people, Public Enemy, like all these guys. I'm not saying they're cookie cutter, but they look as cool as you would think. These dudes were kind of like, what the fuck is that? and it made me want to like emulate what was happening, and definitely my pattern of liking rhymes. Like I didn't know how much until that moment, how much I liked rhymes. I think before that moment, it even with me, like, even after that moment, I liked Coogee rap randomly more than and I knew Coogee rap. I listened to it beforehand, listened to Kane beforehand. It wasn't, it just like, oh, I'm a kid, you know what I'm saying? I guess maybe I'm too young to hit it. But for whatever reason, after that happened, all that other stuff started making so much more sense to me. Like, oh man, what was I doing? And mind you, my first cassette tapes was Public Enemy and Niggas for Life. That's the first thing I bought myself. You know what I'm saying? So, but nah, Wu-Tang definitely. Before watching that last documentary too, like I said, we're all kids. That's the one thing I never take away from myself for. I don't blame myself for anything. We're all growing up in different times and different worlds. And it's never been a good old days. All days have been shitty. So when you're growing up through these things, the one thing I didn't notice is Wu-Tang was unlike everyone else, they really were feeding us like knowledge of self, if you would say, right? I mean, even if their belief system was off, right? They're taking the chance of putting their belief system in the music, which was I definitely give credit for how I carry myself now. A lot of it, as I look after that documentary and watching what they were, and then it makes you think about, well, now you start rapping the lyrics that you remember, like, yo, these were very, like, I don't want to say positive, but yeah, in a sense, like very positive, forwarding lyrics, right? And they put more thoughts into how they were putting it. Even with Raekwon being a storyteller, even with Ghost being like it's like a slang reporter. You know what I'm saying? Every moment that Ghost felt like Ghost rapped about what's happening right now. Ray rapped about what he went through. You know what I'm saying? Meth rapped about being a good, dope rapper at the time. You know what I'm saying? Cool, slick lines. You got You God, who, ironically, people don't really like You God a lot. I love You God. He has a couple dope moments. He did. I can see, though, I feel maybe his voice in that 9, out of that 9, his voice was probably like, you got RZA doing this deep stuff, and then you got this guy doing that. Like, I feel it being like, oh, I don't really want to go that way. I feel like that's what it was. I feel like his voice didn't allow people to gravitate as much as everyone else did. You know what I'm saying? Even Master Killer, I think people love Master Killer. I don't know why he didn't jump immediately on a solo project, but I guess after watching the documentary, we learned shit didn't work. It didn't work out like we wanted it to. And I don't blame them. And that's the thing too. When you watch it, man, and you realize, like, part of me as an adult watched that Wu-Tang thing, and that was like killing Santa Claus to me.
Damn, like,
yeah, because
like Tooth Fairy ain't real.
Yeah,
Santa Claus
like, yo,
alive.
so check, like, to us,
it was organic. It felt.
Yeah, we really believe you were living your lives, like all of these guys. And this is not just them. This is, in our mind, our rappers are real, and our rappers kind of led you to believe like this is our also, because they're shooting it out, fucking each other up. Like, shit's real back then. It's not like it's, you know what I'm saying? So when you see that money, it's the sole reason to disperse the most amazing shit in my life. Now, mind you, I would have been like a Wu-Tang member, like a force. So like, if this happened how they wanted it to, I'm right there. But this is also me and No Limit. If the government doesn't come and stop this No Limit thing, I'm a soldier. I'm in New Orleans somewhere. I'm down there rapping. I'm right there, bro. Like, I was already finding myself rapping, and my favorite rappers at the time when I started really getting into my groove, it was No Limit.
I remember rocking a little No Limit chain when I was had to be either just starting middle school or right before middle.
Yeah, man. I peeped the way the game works now, and that's what I was saying. Watching that documentary helped me along, but you see it already, man. Like, we were kind of smoke and mirrored, and I respect like the Wu for putting realistic lyrics in there and taking the time to like drop jewels. You know, they didn't have to, as proven by many other rappers. They didn't have to say anything. You know, so to say, you know, the dates when the first slave boats were arriving and like these things like that, you now later on, like, if you catch, I think these kids will miss that. They don't have that. These days, there's nothing that represents that particular style. Maybe like an Earth Gang, maybe like you got your few here and there that kind of like stick to, but nothing of that caliber. There's nothing of a Wu-Tang caliber that.
That was a fucking like phenomenon.
It was.
Yeah,
and money stopped it. And I want people that every time, like, at a show, I want you to like, I want to see the emotion change. I want to feel like I've given everyone mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? And I want to watch like, you're in, all right, this song made me feel so great. Why do I feel like, yeah, I'm kind of angry right now? And now kind of, it's fucked up, man. Shit happens bad. Oh, I'm happy again. Like, I want that. I don't really want, oh, that's a dope song. Oh, that guy could kick some riggedy raps. You know what I'm saying? I want like you to be like, damn, like I felt that. You know, Stevie, James, like people that you ain't gotta say their last name, Mike. You could just say that shit and you know, cause you feel them. And for those who don't give flowers to the rappers, understand. I think that There's hella rappers that are just dope, and we shun them down because of business. Business allows you to marginalize a person's talent. You know what I'm saying? So while Juvenile is one of my top rappers, Juvenile makes me feel. So niggas say, well, he's whack. I don't think you can out rap Juvie. I think you think you can out rap Juvie, but I don't think you can out rap Juvie. I don't think you can out rap Lil Kiki. I don't think you can out rap Sibo. I don't think you. It's like some. I'm very well versed. Like when I fell in love with rap, like after this Wu-Tang phenomenon happened, I was one of those. I keep the 400 booklets with me. I'm going through music every second of the day. I get a job at Blockbuster. I'm buying CDs. Like my checks are CDs. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, full checks are like, mind you, this is shout out to my pops who would be like, if money come home, you owe that money. Like, so I'll be burning that shit. Like, I remember everything that changed my life, and all my best moments came through feeling music. There was no promotion for the Aquemini album at first. It just dropped. People don't really recall that. It just dropped. And then I believe Elevators was way... Is that ATLiens then? It's ATLiens. So ATLiens was the second album, right?
Yeah.
So ATLiens comes, there's no promotion. And then I buy it. First day I see it, I'm at Blockbuster working, caught this thing, like, the fuck is this, Outkast? You know, like, they haven't dropped, like, this is random, you know? So I buy this Outkast album, and it's completely, mind you, at that time, I am Southern playalistic out of my mind, as most people was. As you know, I'm crumbling herb every day, you know? And this is something totally different, and I just remember, like, yo, like I felt this. Like, I didn't like it. I felt everything he was saying. And I'm not going to lie, man, I would start to feel Dre a lot more than Boy at that time, because what Dre was saying was fitting where I was at in life. You know, the same as when X came, I was in robbery mode, and X was fitting where I was at that life. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if music was designing us. It kind of feels that way sometimes. But I definitely can say the people that I felt, the people that spoke to me, like, it wasn't about them necessarily having rapping ability. That's a good part of it, you know. But being able to relate where you were from, how you live, what you went through, what it could be if we did it a different way from your insight. You know, shout out to Young Bleed. Young Bleed is one of my favorite rappers. No one really gives him credit, but I think he freestyled most of that shit, and he meant it, you know? So when you hear the words coming off the top, I think a lot of times you get more meaning if you mean that shit, you know? Shout out Weezy. I don't know if I get feeling music from Weezy. I like Weezy just because he can rap.
Yeah, like that raspy voice, and he knows how to pick a good beat.
Oh, great. You know what? Unspoke about, like, art form, picking production, man. Rick Ross, greatest ear in the game to me. Lil Wayne, one of the greatest ears in the game to me.
Q. Schoolboy Q.
Schoolboy, hey, man. Schoolboy, man. Shout out Schoolboy Q, man. You know, Schoolboy is one of the few times that I actually buckled down and went to a major artist show. I usually stay away from major artist shows. I'm a very feeling person, and I feel I should be up there. So a lot of times I don't go to the show just for personal reasons. I'll be invited. Backstages, offers, and Gucci's and all that shit. And even if I'm backstage, I won't go watch the show just because I'll feel some kind of way. I see what I do, and I know what I do, and I'll be like, I just can't. I may break down. I don't want to have a mental breakdown.
Sound like a competitive spirit, or is it just
I believe it's all competitive, you know. It's gotta be. I like to win. I'm very athletic, even though I'm built like this. I think I shit on most people in most things.
Keith Lee, man, one of the greatest wrestlers out with a 280-pound dude doing moonsaults and shit.
Hey, man, shout out to wrestling. I'm not even allowed to legally wrestle in Illinois. I got booted on that shit. Yeah, man, I'm very competitive, but I'm also respectful of what I do and what people do. And I know that I put a lot of thought and care into what I do. I watch my shows. I ask people to send me videos to watch how I look. I train my vocal. I got one nostril, and I with this one nostril, this deviated septum shit, where it's literally I can breathe it. I think it could kill me. Probably was cold. No one, I'm over with. But I map my breath out. So if I'm mapping my breath out, and shout out to my homeboy Capitol Hill in Dayton, He gets out of jail. He says, P, man, I love you, bro. You the only person I know, you and Eminem, that sound like you do on stage how you do on your CD, on your project. And I don't think it's a hard thing to do. I think that I will sweat and break a sweat to do it. And I feel you should too. If you don't want to learn your song, why the fuck should I? If you don't care to rap your song, why the fuck should I care to know it? So when I'm watching people, like a lot of times it's hella competitive. I remember one year when I, very early on, I was watching an award show. It was MTV something, and it was Missy doing Get Your Freak On. And Nelly Furtado slides down this slide. Nelly, and I just start bawling. Like my brain got stuck. And I don't know if it was at one point when I first started rapping, I opened in a sense for Nelly, and we weren't that far off. And I mean, maybe we didn't seem as far off. She had connections and where she was already going. And I'm just some nigga who trying to kick raps. Did a whole set off freestyle, made a hooks in the parking lot, did a whole set off freestyle. Jeezy had a song he was performing called Tropicana Orange Juice or something. And I remember just, it was a nowhere as nothing area where we was, and here they are, and I'm watching them on television. And I remember just bawling. She looked, I ain't gonna say she was trash, she was doing Nelly Furtado, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying there's not a lot to do for Nelly Furtado, but I do remember bawling. I do remember breaking down and being like, I'm never going to a live show. I'm never going to watch these shits no more because these people don't, you know, not saying that Missy doesn't care. I think Missy definitely goes in to know what she done, but I think people just don't work as hard as it's portrayed, you know?
Like, what's your opinion on that? Because like you said, you was in these levels as these Nelly Furtados and these Jeezys, and do you feel like they, for lack of a better phrase, like sold out, or they just found a quick way to get to where they want?
No, I don't judge you where you go as far as your career. I respect you wherever you are. We are all in this bullshit together. Everything we live is a lie. We live in America. This is a corporation. You know, I'm black in it, so to ask me to care about this shit is oxymoronish in the first place. This has never been for us, you know? So anytime someone's forwarding themselves in whatever life they go, kudos. I don't care if it's for or against me. It's kudos to you for doing something you love. Because you could be a slave, you could be doing something, you could be doing nothing, you know? You could be brain dead. So just attempting to do something, even if it's malice, man, you know, kudos to you, man. I think people have their reasoning in, and you have to respect that. Some people didn't grow into a love like we grew into. And people will find that out even as they grow into relationships. When you go into a relationship with somebody, it's just like going into a relationship with anything, whether it's a job, whether it's something yourself that you created, a business you created, a kid, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're going into, and you're going to find out what you feel later on. You're going to grow, and there is no way for anybody to grow together. When people say grow together, it's impossible. You learn at your own paces. You get older, and certain things you love at this point you hate now. Certain things you hated, you love it now. You know, me and sour cream, I hated it. And I loved it. Now I can't eat it. It's all fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's a love-hate, what the fuck relationship. Like ice cream, I loved it. Now I gotta hate it, love it, because it doesn't work with me. But it's my favorite shit. Now, is it my favorite shit? Because it fucks me up. It might kill me. Like, man, I went a lot of places, so I try to make sure that my dialect don't change. Because I used to clown niggas who meet other people and start becoming them, you know. We were in Chicago. I had a homeboy, rest in peace, man. He would go to New York and come back like, yeah, son, and rock vest, man. You know what's crazy about that dude, man? Oh, man. Shout out to my homie P though, man. We was just talking about Cuddy, man. When we was little, I was a little older than them. They was like in high school. This dude would always talk about being a rapper, man. Like he was the first person that was like, you know, this is what I'm gonna do. Even when I was nice rapping and I'm like, I kick raps and I'm nice, he was the one like, yo, I'm gonna be a rap star. Like I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna buy cars. I'm gonna do all this stuff. And man, Najee, man. And I remember moving away and losing contact with all my little home. He's my little Blackstone. He was a little GD homeboy, and I lost contact with him. Yo, now G moves to California, becomes a rap star. Y'all would know him as something black. He was Yuck Mouse homeboy. What's Yuck Mouse home? The one he say rest in peace all the time. Pretty Black. Pretty Black is Najee, bro.
Oh.
Yo, so he dies apparently. This whole time I don't know nothing of the shit. My nigga Pito, we happen to be chopping it up. And he's like, so you in LA doing the rap shit? I'm like, yeah. He's like, damn, bruh, that's crazy because you know the homeboy passed. I'm like, who? He's like, Najee. I'm like, damn, when did that happen? He's like, man, that was a while ago. You know, he got into it. It was, some gang shit. And when he explained the situation, I'm like, damn, so dude is still the same dude. And we put up these videos, he really did it though, bro. Like he really got bread and was bringing out whips and cars, and this is like he was damn near introducing Yuck type shit to this shit. Like Yuck, that's his nigga. You feel me? Yo, that's my little nigga. Like that's weird as fuck. I'm like, damn, bro, this nigga became the nigga and died. And mind you, when he says it, I remember reading the sources and looking at and never once putting it together. Like I'm in Ohio, like looking at this nigga being salty. Like, yo, who's this nigga getting 2 pages in the source? Like saying that shit. Like, yo, who this nigga 2 pages for Pretty Black? Right? But it's big ass glasses. I never looked at that. I never looked at that and saw Najee, bro.
Damn.
Yo, that's crazy, right?
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, it's a couple cats that I got that live those kind of moments. But yo, man, rest in peace to the little homie, bro. Like, I'm glad that he got to see and do some of that stuff. I do wish that I got to like get around back. That would have been a dope moment to like wrap it back around with the dude. You know what I'm saying? Even had he went through it and did it and I brought it back around this time later on where like, yo, that was my little homeboy, bro. Like, he was a cool little funniest nigga ever, bro. This nigga went to New York, came back with the bubble goose, bro. Like, yeah, what's up, son? Like, bro, you even go to Buff? The fuck is you doing? Like, nah, son, my family up there, yo. You know what I'm saying, son? Like, bro, this is Chicago. You can't do this shit. You can't do this shit, bro. Rest in peace, Najee, man. That nigga was the funniest. But he was the first one, like, he really believed early on, bro. I mean, when he was a 15-year-old kid, bro, he knew, yo, I'm going to be a rapper. I'm gonna be famous. I'm going to be rich as fuck, bro. I'm going to get cars and floss on you niggas. It's going to, like, he knew. And we be like, all right, but he was switching. He be having but he different rap styles. Maybe that's what he got prepared for, man. Was just having all those different styles. You know, I don't know if you ever heard Pretty Black's music. I will admit that I even myself haven't went back and listened to like a lot of his older shit that he dropped before passing. But I do know that dude had like an understanding of rap, so I'm sure it had to be. You know what I'm saying? He understood early. I used to burn that little nigga up, boy. I used to sit out. We used to, for real, bro. It's like the Cyphers, man. The Cyphers that made you into like, I was schooling my young niggas, man, in real life. When I was just a baby young nigga. Like, I was a baby old nigga. I was maybe like 19, 18 or some shit like that, man. You know? I feel like it gets better as I go. LA so far is by far the best place I've ever been. And I consider y'all as one. Don't ever take a confusion. Like, you know, y'all, we the IE, we Long Beach, we the Hollywood, we the OC. You motherfuckers is LA. Okay, it's a beautiful place. As an outsider, I wish all LA natives really understood what y'all had in y'all possession. But that's hard to do because every place is like that. You know, you don't really know to appreciate what you have until it's necessarily gone or whatnot. But I love LA natives. I love how I've been taken in. Even though I haven't been like shot to the top and yo, this is my cousin who can turn everything around, which I'm positive that could happen at all times. Like I know a lot of dudes who could easily like, yo, let me call my uncle so and so and cousin so and easily make the fountain turn on. While y'all haven't turned the tap on for me, I've also haven't been rejected, and I've seen many even locals get rejected. I don't get rejected. I get love when I show up. People watch my whole sets. I get followers and fans. Even when they can't find my name online, I'm synonymous. I gotta be the person that people say, man, that song it's stuck in my head, and they say the words to it, and then they piece together. A homeboy yesterday told me I changed my hair so much he don't know how I can keep a fan. Like, bro, you got a different look every time I see you. How you gonna keep a fan, man? I can't even look like so. But I get love, yo. I get love. I have yet, and I don't believe I'm going to in 3 years in, been packed out yet. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Crips that have allowed me to come in their neighborhoods and perform on their stages, inviting me to their sets, man. Like, it's all, like, love, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Bloods that have allowed me to come perform in their neighborhoods, invited me to their sets. When niggas talk to me about coming here, I get invited to the set. I don't know what's happening to you. I don't know what's going on in your world. Maybe you too shiny. Maybe you too tough. I don't fucking know. But niggas see my set, walk up to me, cop a CD, shake a hand, invite me to their set. I start going to a couple. I didn't go to all of it. Some of that shit you gotta be, you know, I'm not a native. I gotta be smart. I'm not just gonna go pop up in the middle of your set. Sometimes I just take the invite. But I done definitely showed up and showed love to a few motherfuckers and shook hands and been hella surprised and feel comfortable. You know, I don't feel threatened. I get invited to Compton. I get invited to Nickerson Gardens. Shout out to my nigga Moody. Shout out to my nigga Fatty. Like, Watts Project. Shout out to Little Draws. Like, I get invited to some very prominent sets that as a kid I used to hear music about people getting murdered. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up dead. Like, and I go there, hang out, shake hands, talk to a nigga's sister. She's like, oh, my brother played your song. Like, you know, some of the slang is hilarious, you know, but that's just because it's new to me. I'm sure I sound, you know, I learned quick. I learned that when dealing in California, the toughest guys speak the clearest. When they want to for real disrespect you, they want to make sure you catch every syllable, cuz. Like, and they want to make sure you feel every they square up for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit it's different. I'm from the Midwest. I don't want to say the dumbest niggas are the hardest, but the niggas you don't really understand the most are probably going to fuck you up. That nigga that you don't, when it's Chicago, that nigga who talks the fastest, that you don't understand, you know what I'm saying? New York is kind of like the most smilingest nigga in New York. That's the scariest nigga. He's going to juke you. He's going to get you. This is what it is. Like, it's just different areas have different, you know what I'm saying? LA, I respect it. Y'all have a lot of laws here, which is not everywhere. And it's a lot of talented people, but y'all also all family, and y'all also are one step away from rich. That's a real thing. All y'all know someone who's beyond wealthy, and you drive next to McLarens and race, and and you got all the water, and you got all the sun, and you got all the weed, and you got all the coke, and all the meth, and all the, like, everything is here. Like, it doesn't, like, it's
one-stop shop
of everything, you know. And so I definitely understood how rap was such a here, because how would it not be? You ever notice this? A lot of the greatest rappers from California are not from California.
Yeah. Pac from Minneapolis?
I believe he's from New Jersey.
New Jersey?
Hoboken or something.
Oh, shit.
But he's from New Jersey somewhere. Yeah. And Snoop is like Memphis or something like that. Mississippi.
I didn't know that.
Mississippi, I believe. He got here at 13. Corrupt got here like 12, 13.
I knew Corrupt. Because Corrupt, he's from Philly, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, the guys that are like the staples, are like, but they all come here. I'm like,
I had no idea Snoop was from Mississippi.
Yeah, Snoop is not a born here guy. He's got here. All these are implants, man. Damn. You know. But I understand them. They were raised here. It's like you know, Ye being in Chicago, and like, it's when you're raised there. You know.
Well, you from Atlanta originally, right?
Yeah, I believe so. But Chicago, man, you there for 3 years and you alive. You there. You're from there.
Reason why I remember that.
Yeah, business, man. I'm telling you, man, the business of this all has woken me up. It's the first time is why I quit. I know I can't beat the industry, and I have no idea to compete with it. If it happens to pay me too, I'll take the check.
What made you come back?
Because you don't need the industry to be heard anymore. it helps, and I definitely, again, I would not necessarily say no. I would definitely hear out what's because, but even now, I would hear it out because of where we're at right now. Where we're at, I can be heard on my own. I can get the backing on my own. I can find people who want to support on my own. So it's not necessarily a need anymore, you know. But it's definitely still the fastest route to success, the fastest route to financial stability. And I would love to have financial stability strictly off music to pay for my children. So I'm not gonna say no, but I came back this time because I can do without it. I came back this time because I still had not a lot. I felt like my first verse back is Lamont Stinks. If you ever get time and you see this video, it's on YouTube. Lamont Stinks, produced by Troy Boy, who was a punk rocker that became like a hip hop producer. That's like a white dude. That's like a white Muslim. Like he's like a deep dude. And him and this half Asian guy Mike asked me to do a song. Mike loved a song of mine called "We Don't Believe You." And they essentially brought me back to rap. Like, yo, right, here's this beat, and we're supposed to do it together. And I wrote this verse, and I remember thinking, like, yeah, this is better than 99% of what's happening right now. And I should probably consider, like, taking this serious again. And then I started just kind of growing and getting out to even now. This last 6-year adventure started in me jumping back in very rapid to me literally being able to open up and just be more forms of myself. You know, to be kind of like, we're not boxed in no more. This isn't the 90s or even early 2000s no more, and you're not boxed into being, you know, a style of character. I was a rapper then, and you got to rap then, and rap, this nigga ain't singing, ain't rapping, these niggas, like, it was like a box, and we would put in our minds and put over people like this rap purist type thing. Nah, I'm a musician. I came from rap. I'm a rapper. I love being a rapper, but I love making songs. I wrote R&B and soul for a gentleman for a couple years. I love creating new sounds. I love painting the fields. I love the moment when someone catches a triple entendre and they catch 2 of them, and then they finally that third kick. It's like when they see later on, like what I put into it, yeah. When I'm taking simple words and making triple entendres for a whole verse, and then they finally 2 years later, you get that call like, yo, did you mean? I'm like, yeah, man. So I don't do it for the you know, not to knock, because again, I appreciate the industry. I don't do it for the Justin Bieber style fans, you know, and that's not knocking Justin Bieber. I just think that style of music, it's very microwave, and you know, you hold on quickly and you move on. People who like songs like that, they do purchase it quickly. It heats up quickly, but they, you know, get past it quickly. I love to make music for people who give a fuck, and they'll sit somewhere and they'll drive in their car smoking, they sitting with their girl hanging, they getting in the shower, they working out, they're walking in and it ain't just the production hitting them, because I take a lot of chances on production. I love a lot of different styles of production. I grew up that way. I grew up Southern, West, all that, like, so I love production, but I love when they lines finally, when they finally catch up, like, yo, did this dude just say, run that back. I remember I used to do that sometimes. Like, you know, I wasn't a Jay fan at first. I became a Jay fan. I liked a few songs. I liked So Ghetto. I love Imaginary Player was first. I loved So Ghetto. Then I loved all the production from the Blueprint. I thought that was crazy. I rapped over that whole album. That's how I learned all his words, because I rapped so much over that album. And then it started hitting me like, he is kind of saying some shit on this a little bit. The less dopier the less dope dealer he got, the more it kind of attached to me. And then the Black Album, the Retirement album, was the first time I was like, oh shit. Well, yeah, because again, it was songs that I still liked until then. But Black Album made me a fan. Like, this nigga's dope. You know what I'm saying? But until that moment, he was just like a drug dealer rapper. It was alright. It wasn't no Wu-Tang. That's how I felt about it. Like it wasn't no Wu-Tang. And and please don't crucify me, hip hop. I've never been a fan of Nas. The voice never did it for me. I never had a New York state of mind.
I get into a lot of
I like my niggas a little. I like Fiend. I like Magic. I like Young Bleed. I like Little Kiki. I like, you know what I'm saying, Big Pokey. I love niggas who talk real shit, tough shit. That's not against Nas. I fuck with Nas songs like I did Jay. It's certain songs, you know what I'm saying, Second Childhood. Oh, man. Oh, nigga, deep. I fuck with that song. But it's not he's no Big Pun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's no fucking Big Pun. I don't think niggas... Big Pun is top 3 easy.
Big Pun. Like
rapping ability? Bro. Who raps better than Big Pun? Chino?
My favorite songs with him, 8 Ball, and Heavy.
Oh my God, 8 Ball, MJG. Yo, it's what I'm saying. Like, I like my rappers to make me feel like, man, them niggas are who they. When I listen to this shit, I'm gonna meet these niggas, and that's what. Yo, when I met 8 Ball, I felt like he's exactly who he said he was gonna be. Like I was with my cousin, shout out to my cousins in Memphis and shit. Like, yo, this nigga like, you want to see 8 Ball? He up the street. I'm like, 8 Ball the street? And I'm a kid, so I'm thinking like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? What do you mean 8 Ball up the street? Space Age Pimpin' is up the street. That trip fucked my whole head up, Memphis. Shout out Memphis, man. Everything in Memphis, I love Memphis, man. I just met Gangsta Boo a couple weeks ago at a listening party in LA, man. Yeah, man. Shout out Gangsta Boo, man. I kept my cool. She took some pictures with me and shit. Miss Chalet stopped me at the study and said, "You're just amazing at what you do, and I just wanted to let you know that." And I was just like, you're Miss Chalet. Like, because this the funniest shit. Yo, I know that Miss Chalet will get you fucked up. I know. Like, her baby daddies are the niggas. You feel me? You don't really. I know the baby daddy. Like, even right now, like, I got 2 children's mothers, man. Shout out to both the mothers of my children. You can't cross them. One of them's a boxer. She'll fuck you up for herself. But even if she didn't, like, you can't cross my children's mothers. You know what I'm saying? You can't cross the lady I'm with. You can't cross my mama. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't cross a lot of in my life. You don't disrespect the women that I care for. You know what I'm saying? I think that if you was to cross Miss Chalet, that's suicide, my nigga. And I'm actually the young lady I'm with. I was out with her at this event here, right? And she's injured. We had gotten in a car accident. She's coming off an injury, and here comes Miss Chalet. And I swear to you, like maybe 2-3 weeks before that, we were talking about like, yo, who is that? I'm like, yo, Miss Chalet is still popping. Like, I had just said this shit, right? So part of me is trying to make sense. Like, yo, I don't want to get in trouble because I will shoot it, but then I'll get shot. So let me stay away, because you will get fucked up. Like, you even just insinuating the wrong shit. You feel me? Like, these niggas got pool in this city. These aren't some bum ass niggas. This is Suge and this is the niggas. These are the 2 most known niggas here. You feel me? But you know, I hope she really did check. Like, I sent her she put her email on my shit, and I hope that she really checked it out. And I was grateful. But like, yo, man, I rapped a long time, and even in Ohio and those places, I never got the compliments from the status of the people that I get compliments from here. So I do believe that I was supposed to come back to this shit. I do believe that just for the fact that I get my biggest question here is, who you signed with? Like, that's to me where my level of talent is here. Who you signed with? You have to be signed with somebody. Like, you're not just cruising around. Who you signed with? So I don't use it as an intimidating thing. I'm very respectful of it, man, and I'm grateful to be here. It's fucking LA. It's my favorite fucking place to be, flat out. Like, until the next one, until I get to Japan or England, and you know, some Abu Dhabi, Shangri-La. Till I get to Shangri-La, till I get to Iceland. I got invited to Iceland 2 years ago. Didn't have my fucking passport. Paid. They would have paid me. It would have worked out to 110,000 US. Right, and I missed it. missed it. So
Iceland and the Dutch.
Love them. Shout out to the Dutch. Deutschmark me. You know what I'm saying? 30 fucking Deutschmark. Like, yeah, man. Shout out to Tom Green, man. Like, it's so many moments in entertainment that have led me to want to remain and go forth with entertainment. But I love it, and I do love this music thing. I do believe that if I had to do anything else, I would still want to be next to it. Whether it's being behind a camera like yourself or learning how to write up on other artists, I still love hearing good music. I still love the feeling I get when I hear a new artist that I love. You know what I'm saying? I don't like, for instance, I'm not a big fan of the Griselda. I'm just not, right? I'm not a big fan of the Griselda. But I love Benny. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, Conway and the West Side shit is like, I get it. I understand why people fuck with it. It's not for me. That Benny shit, though? Oh, that Benny shit feels like, yeah.
My homegirl, she did a lot of art for Inance.
I don't know. Link me up.
For sure. Yeah,
for sure. Yo, whoever catch any of this shit, link me up. Yo, this is where I'm at right now, man. Where I'm at right now. Oh, should I even go there? Or should I listen to your question first?
Go for it, bro.
Just where I'm at right now, bro, is I really feel it takes a team to really make anything motion, and I really give a fuck, and I'm up to do the work. So if anyone has work for me or has a person they can help me get in contact with, whatever it may be, I need you to reach out, because if I don't figure out how to make the finances equal up to the work, then I'm gonna have to go back to some of the other stuff that I did for financing, and and I don't like working for people. My last job was at, and you know, we might have to bleep that shit out. I don't know how that shit works, but you know, I did great jobs. I sold and made them a lot of money. I'm probably still making them money right now for, you know, services that I've sold. I had 100% completion rate for 2 months straight. Real life, I was that dude. Triples, selling triples. You know, shout out to people who like to smoke weed. You know, they'll never keep it real, but I got more sales smoking weed. And I'll pull up smoking weed. They're like, man, you want to smoke? We'll smoke, and then send them some cable. You know. Maybe they should put that in there. That's a dope business. Stupid. It should. It should. We'll make more money. But I made more money for them than I made for myself. And I thought that I could go knock door to door and do the same thing for myself, selling CDs, if I ever came down to it. So I keep CDs on me. And CDs got me through some tough times. You know what I'm saying? Just because I can go always hand in hand my music. But I need the people who fuck with me to really, like, make that call. Don't just sit on me, yo. Don't just give me the same. Don't give me the treatment you get at Friend when you get a new job, and you know they hiring, but you don't want them to fuck it up. So you be like, I'm gonna hit you, bro. Like, nah, man. I'm not gonna fuck it up. I'm not gonna go in there and fuck it up. So if you see this and you happen to hear some music you like, and you believe in the motion, man, please speak to whoever your cousin is in LA, motherfucker. You too. You LA natives, tell your uncle, cousin, brother, sister, Miguel, all that shit, man. All you niggas is out here, man. Tell them niggas that you found something and you just want to, and don't just send them the music, bro. Just call me and tell me to go there. Cause it's better in your face. It's better live. That is my gift. I think I gotta do live albums.
Oh, yeah. Dope.
Yeah.
Real dope.
Shout out to all the bands I work with. Shout out to Two Bills. If you get a chance, they just dropped the project, Two Bills. And Mr. Anderson, spelled out Mister T-A-R. I think it's T-A-R. It's Mr. Anderson. But they're a band in Ohio. They're amazing, man. I work with them when I can, man. My nigga E-Rob. So, and then Two Bills is on this side of the country. They got a band called Loud Pack, a full black band. And yeah, man, I'll be trying to get as much live stuff as I can, but I think that's the wave. Is just a live project, because people get so much more unlike a lot of artists, you get so much more at my shows than you do necessarily through this CD, man. My personal biggest flaw is consistency. What I would take to have it is probably peace. It's hard to have because I'm a little bit more experienced than most artists, have a lot on my plate. A lot of babies call me dad. And coming from the Midwest to Los Angeles is not as financially helpful, you know. So I don't have the ability to stay as consistent as I want to. I want to chomp out a bunch of songs as much as I gotta get a verse done right now. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I haven't even wrote it yet. It's gotta be. I think it's in tomorrow, but I haven't had access to the studios like I want. They just robbed the studio that I had in Ohio, took everything, and my masters. Some of my masters is gone to a lot of songs. So yeah, man, consistency. I need more, and I understand it. I think it's my biggest flaw. So I don't even know the answer to it right now because I would say peace. If I could, I think that's what record deals give you because they essentially pay you to just sit in the studio at that point. If I got paid to just sit in the studio, that would make me hella consistent. If I didn't have to necessarily pay with my own money. So I would just say peace and finances, man. I feel like anyone who has the finances and the peace to go to the studio and be in the studio all the time and work, if you're not, then you might need to call someone else who needs that studio and give them the opportunity. If you have the ability and the peace and the time and the money to sit in the studio and nothing's happening for you, please find someone like myself. Find someone who can't afford to sit in the studio. And I think then also that'll help you build, if you still want to continue being an artist, it'll help build your consistency up because you will see what a hungry person, you will get reminded what it's like to not have access. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my answer to that is peace and financial stability. You know what I'm saying? And then passion. And you will find out if you sit in the studio right now and you ain't cranking out songs every second that you can, then maybe you don't have the passion for making music, and maybe you should look into something else. And you should definitely forward that opportunity to someone who's more deserving or less fortunate, or preferably both. But you know what I'm saying?
And to cap it off, man, where can everybody reach out to you?
Oh man, PTHE That's my name right now. But be on the lookout for PMC TV. I'm on all platforms.